Good evening and welcome to our daily devotional reading. A special welcome to the members of our make-believe monastery. I hope you had a good day and I hope you're ready to settle down, turn inward, breathe, just be with your body. Quiet the voices in your head, quiet the voices outside, except for mine and that of Plato. Theodorus. He's responding to, we ended yesterday with Socrates asking if he's being rude for trying to introduce a conversation game. Theodorus. Very sweet tea. The reverse of rudeness, Socrates. But I would rather that you would ask one of the young fellows, for the truth is that I am unused to your game of question and answer, and I am too old to learn. The young will be more suitable, and they will improve more than I shall, for youth is always able to improve. And so, having made a beginning with Theaetetus, I would advise you to go on with him, and not let him go off. Socrates, do you hear, Theaetetus, what Theodorus says? The philosopher whom you would not like to disobey, and whose word ought to be a command to a young man, bids me interrogate you. Take courage, then, and nobly say what you think what that knowledge is. Probably what knowledge is. Take courage, then, and nobly say what you think knowledge is. Theaetetus. Well, Socrates, I will answer as you and he bid me, and if I make a mistake, you will doubtless correct me. Socrates. We will, if we can. Theaetetus. Then I think that the science which I learned from Theodorus, geometry, and those which you just now mentioned are knowledge. And I would include the art of the cobbler and of other craftsmen. These, each of all of them, are knowledge. Socrates. Too much, Theaetetus, too much. The nobility and liberality of your nature make you give many and diverse things, when I am asking for one simple thing. Theaetetus. What do you mean, Socrates? Socrates. Perhaps nothing. I will endeavor, however, to explain what I believe to be my meaning. When you speak of cobbling, you mean the art of science, the art or science, techne, of making shoes. Just so. And when you speak of carpeting, you mean the art of making wooden implements. I do. In both cases, you define the subject matter of each of the two arts. True. But that, Theaetetus, was not the point of my question. I wanted to know not the subjects, nor yet the number of the arts or sciences, for we were not going to count them, but we wanted to know the nature of knowledge in the abstract. Am I not right? Perfectly right. Let me offer an illustration. Suppose a person were to ask about some very trivial and obvious thing. For example, what is clay? And we were to reply that there is a clay of the potters, there is a clay of oven makers, there is clay of brick makers. Would not the answer be ridiculous? Truly. In the first place, there would be an absurdity in assuming that he who asked the question would understand from our answer the nature of clay, merely because we added of the image makers or of any other workers. How can a man understand the name of anything when he does not know the nature of it? How can a man understand the name of anything when he does not know the nature of it? Question mark. I still use punctuation. I'm old school. Theaetetus. He cannot. Socrates. Then he who does not know what science or knowledge is has no knowledge of the art or science of making shoes. None. Nor of any other science, techne, art or craft. No. Socrates. And when a man is asked what science or knowledge is, to give in answer the name of some art or science is ridiculous. For the question is, what is knowledge? And he replies, a knowledge of this or that. True. Moreover, he might answer shortly and simply, but he makes an enormous circuit. For example, when asked about the clay, he might have said simply that clay is moistened earth. What sort of clay is not to the point? Theaetetus. Yes, Socrates, there is no difficulty as you put the question. You mean, if I am not mistaken, something like that what occurred to me and to my friend here, your namesake Socrates, in a recent discussion. Socrates. What was that, Theaetetus? Theaetetus. Theodorus was writing out for us something about roots, such as the roots of 3 or 5, showing that they were incommensurable by the unit. He selected other examples, up to 17. There he stopped. Now, if there are innumerable roots, the notion occurred to us of attempting to include them all under one name or class. Socrates. And did you find such a class? Theaetetus. I think that we did, but I should like to have your opinion. Socrates. Let me hear. Theaetetus. We divided all numbers into 2 classes. Those which are made up of equal factors multiplying into one another, which we compared to square figures and called square or equilateral numbers. That was one class. Socrates. Very good. Theaetetus. The intermediate numbers, such as 3 and 5, and every other number which is made up of unequal factors, either of the greater multiplied by a less, or of a less multiplied by a greater, and when regarded as a figure is contained in unequal sides, all these we compared to oblong figures, and called them oblong numbers. Socrates. Capital, my dear lad, I added. And what followed? Theaetetus. The lines or sides which have their 4 squares, the equilateral plane numbers, were called by us lengths or multitudes, and the lines which are the roots of, or whose squares are equal to, the oblong numbers were called powers or roots. The reason of this Latin name being that they are commensurable with the former. Where's Folly when you need him? I.e., with the so-called lengths or magnitudes, not in the linear measure, but in the value of the superficial content of their squares, and the same about solids. Socrates: excellent, my boys. I think that you fully justify the praise of Theodorus, and that he will not be found guilty of false witness. Theaetetus: but I am unable, Socrates, to give you a similar answer about knowledge, which is what you appear to want, and therefore Theodorus is a deceiver after all. Socrates: well, but if someone were to praise you for running, and to say that he never met your equal among boys, and afterwards you were beaten in a race by a grown-up man, who was a great runner, would the praise be any the less true? Theaetetus: certainly not. Socrates: and is the discovery of the nature of knowledge so small a matter, as just now said? Is it not one which would task the powers of men perfect in every way? Theaetetus: by heaven they should be the top of all perfection. Socrates: well then, be of good cheer. Do not say that Theodorus was mistaken about you, but do your best to ascertain the true nature of knowledge, as well as of other things. The other translation reads, you must put your whole heart into what you are doing. Theaetetus: I am eager enough, Socrates, if that would bring to light the truth. The other translation: if putting one's heart to it is all that is required, the answer will come to light. Socrates: come, you made a good beginning just now. Let your own answer about roots be your model. And as you comprehended them all in one class, try and bring the many sorts of knowledge under one definition. Theaetetus: I can assure you, Socrates, that I have tried very often when the report of questions asked by you was brought to me. But I can neither persuade myself that I have a satisfactory answer to give, nor hear of anyone who answers as you would have him. And I cannot shake off a feeling of anxiety. Socrates: these are the pangs of labor, my dear Theaetetus. You have something within you which you are bringing to birth. Theaetetus: I do not know, Socrates. I only say what I feel. Socrates: and have you never heard, simpleton, silly boy, I imagine, that I am the son of a midwife, brave and burly, whose name is Theaetetus? I should know his mom's name. Theaetetus: yes, I have. Socrates: and that I myself practice midwifery, midwifery? Theaetetus: no, never. Socrates: let me tell you that I do, though, my friend, but you must not reveal the secret, as the world in general have not found me out, and therefore they only say of me that I am the strangest of mortals, and drive men to their wits' end. Did you ever hear that, too? Yes. Thus far our scripture of the evening. I can assure you, Socrates, Theaetetus says, and we reread this passage, that I have tried very often when the report of questions asked by you was brought to me, but I can neither persuade myself that I have a satisfactory answer to give, nor hear of anyone who answers as you would have him, and I cannot shake off a feeling of anxiety. This is the type of knowing of which Socrates himself boasts, the knowing that he does not know. And hence, indeed, the young Theaetetus looks just like Socrates. I'm happy to hear that Socrates is of opinion that youths... No, it was Theodorus, I think, who said that youths are always capable of improving. Well, that's good. Too bad for this old dog that also needs some more improving. So we see a lot of typical Socrates in this already. Him asking a question and people coming with examples instead of what it is. And he's saying, I do not want examples, I want to know what is this thing. Or, as O'Connor would put it, I do not want to know what it does, I want to know what it is. And using very down-to-earth examples like clay, pots, shoes, to illustrate his point. How can a man understand the name of anything when he does not know the nature of it? Question mark. We just came out of a very long discussion on names. What is a name? How can a man understand the name of anything if he does not know what it is? Maybe that is what Jordan always means with, but what do you mean with religion? What do you mean with God? How can I understand what you mean by that name if I'm not even sure I know the nature of the subject under question? What is knowledge? As I've mentioned before, my life tends to have a lot of happy or strange coincidences and odd timing. Perfect timing. And I'm quite busy, so I don't know where I'm going to get the time for all the amazing things that is coming my way. But amazing things are keeping coming my way. For instance, just today, the Peterson Academy, I haven't looked at it yet. I just saw the ad. I got the email. The Peterson Academy released a new series on epistemology. Metaphysics and epistemology. The big questions. 2 huge questions. They should really have 2 separate courses. And I really like the lecturer on these courses. I do intend to go through all of his courses again at a certain point. I've already got the books. Because what he does is, for instance, he does modern philosophy, and then he reads the philosophers. He actually takes passages from their work and reads it with you. And whichever philosopher he is discussing, he takes on that perspective 100%. So you really feel at the end of every lecture, you feel like he tried to convince you that this philosopher is speaking the truth. And then the next philosopher comes and he does exactly the same. But I really like that, to really be able to take on the perspective of the philosopher. So really, Stephen Hicks, I think is his name. I really want to do all these courses again. I've got the books. I was just pausing because it's all male philosophers. But so I really do want to watch this course as well. I just don't know where I'm going to find the time. I watch it usually on 1.25 while I'm cleaning the house or getting ready for work. So on the days that I work. But I'll probably have to watch. I don't think I've got anything planned this weekend, so maybe I can watch it this weekend. I should watch it while we're in Theaetetus, for sure. Pause Aristotle a little bit. So I'm not super fond of that lecturer. He's a very good lecturer, very knowledgeable, but very Christian. So hopefully by the end of this week, or by the end of Theaetetus, I will have a little bit more knowledge about what knowledge is. I do not know, though. I got this book today, or yesterday, in the mail. When I ordered the other book for Folly's reading group, unsolicited reading group, if I order 2 books, I get free delivery. And I really wanted this book, and I can't find it in bookstores. So I ordered it online. I'm quite surprised that I have it already. It had one of those delivery dates that's maybe you'll get it in your next lifetime. But I already got it, so that's nice. I want to share my bookshelves with you. I want to show you what I have. There's a structure behind me. So the top shelf is books recommended by John Vervaeke. The first part, the one with the little picture, it was a postcard I received from one of my friends because she knew that I'm into. It's the Awakening from the Meaning Crisis. That's like the picture that. If it's vertical, it means I've read it. If it's horizontal, it means I still need to read it. If it's horizontal on vertical, it means I've read it, but I need to read it again. Second shelf, so the whole top shelf is John Vervaeke. Second shelf, this part is Jordan Peterson so John Vervaeke recommendations, not all written by him. Jordan Peterson recommendations and his own books. I lend 12 Rules to someone that I'm no longer sleeping with, so I don't think I'm ever going to see that again. Same, read but need to read again. This little passage, can you see? Yes. Is books that I've read for Peterson Academy courses. So I do the test after the lectures, but I don't do the exam until after I've read the books. So I haven't done that many exams. This is what I did. These are books. It's still not a lot. I only started last year. These are books that's recommended by the boys. The boys being Joseph Folly, Alex O'Connor and Sheehan Quirk. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I have Sheehan's book over there. I haven't read it yet because I got it in the winter of Woman. So he's a boy, he's a man. So I couldn't read him yet. This is the books. I always have a shelf of books that I've read this year. I haven't finished a lot of books yet this year. I've a lot of half-read books all over the place. And oddly, for the first time ever, I stop books and don't continue this year. So it's growing very slowly. At the end of the year, like around 31st December, I restructure my whole bookshelves and then everything goes into different places. It's not actual bookshelves. It's industrial storage units. So I can easily just... all my shelves are... because I have other books there as well, but they're not as structured as these. This is philosophy. And this is philosophy. But these are like the philosophers. It's the books by the philosophers themselves. So no secondary literature. And only the philosophers that's in like a history of philosophy. This is philosophy, but it's also... It includes secondary literature, but it also includes philosophers themselves, but figures that's not necessarily included in histories of philosophy. Then underneath the philosophy there that's all Carl Jung, his own books. And then behind me here, which you're not going to be able to see, I think, is all Jungian books. And then beneath the Jungian books is all esoteric books. So that's the shelf behind me. Very structured. And these are all books that I wanted to read ASAP, but I'm not going to get to all of them. For sure not. Because I also have a stack of ASAP books there. So I have a lot of reading to do, and it's good. I love reading. But I've also started now rereading a lot. I made this rule for myself, which I already broke, but I found a way to keep it playfully without... Just make sure. So I made the rule that I need to read 4 books before I can buy 1 book. So for every 4 books I read, I can buy 1 new book. So that I can get through the stack of unread books. I'm not doing very well in that. Mostly because I've already twice took books from the read like stacking and reread it. Or more times. This was a reread. No, that's just the one reread so far. But there's a lot of rereads. Oh, and I reread that one partially, and then I stopped. So I did a lot of rereading. And the unsolicited advice reading group books I read at least twice, everything, but it's not a lot. It's like 30 pages a week or something. I read it at least twice. I spoke with Sarah today, and I told her I said it. I think it was not well said. Folly is taking me to places where I've always been, but I've never known. And put that in your book, Emily. And I finally got, I should probably cover my address, a letter from Rebecca. There's something wrong with the postal service in my area. So she sent it tracked. It's probably, I see it's gift. My birthday is in 10 days. 10 days, yes, 10 days. I will probably not record that day. I'm going to Paris. There and back again in one day. I was thinking of staying. I could, because it's over a weekend. But I really love traveling by train. So I want the traveling to be the birthday experience. And I'm going to leave early and come back late. So I'll probably not be able to record. And now you know all about me. You have seen my soul. I have shown you my soul. May the spirit of Sophia be with you.